Hey, look, I've been muted like the whole time. I am very glad to be here with you guys tonight. It is May the 22nd, 2025, and we're going to be going over a few things about Universal's Epic Universe that I am very excited about. We're going to be digging into that. Thank you guys for being flexible with the timing of the episode this week as well, because we had some severe weather on Tuesday night. Universal's Epic Universe opened today, which is pretty exciting. And I have a few things that I want to show you guys here in just a second. But really, just wanted to kind of start off talking about some basics for the park as well. So, wanted to talk about ticket details for you. I'm gonna put one little check things here because I love it when things are live. Um, there we go. All right. Just putting a little note on old Facebook, letting people know I fixed the sound issue because that's that. And here's my real world messy office because kids and things, all right? So, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and throw this up there. Again, we're talking about Universal's Epic Universe. And I had the chance to stay at one of their new hotels. But before I talk about that just a little bit, I want to talk about tickets. As of right now, as of today, moving forward to the end of 2025, Epic Universe tickets have to be purchased separately. Even if you purchase like a park to park ticket with Universal, park to park meaning kind of park hopping access between, say, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. Has a Hogwarts Express that goes back and forth between the two. All of that. That park to park ticket for 2025 does not include Epic Universe. So please be aware of that. If you're looking at planning a vacation to Universal Orlando and you want to check out the new park, which I highly recommend, make sure that you purchase either like a standalone ticket or a ticket that includes a one separate day to Epic Universe. And that's the thing. As of right now, even if you buy the park to park ticket, and it'll say you can either do the two park or two park plus one day at Epic Universe. And basically, what that means is you have to visit for this year. You have to visit Epic Universe on its own separate park day. So please be aware of that. As you're thinking about your vacation plans and whatnot, you're going to be spending a whole day there. However, next year for 2026, they're making some changes, which we will do a separate little blurb on. It's not going to be exactly the same as it is this year, but there are, like I said, for this year, there are a few different options, but you will have to spend an entire day there. If you do choose to go park to park, that will take one of your park to park days in addition to your one day at Epic Universe. So please be aware of that. All right. This picture that we have here right up front, we'll take the ticket details off, is a welcome sign kind of right in front of the Stella hotel that I stayed at, one of Universal's newer hotels. And it is absolutely, I kept on wanting to say, I kept on wanting to like give it the wrong name for whatever reason. I kept on wanting to call it Stella Luna. I don't know why, but it's called Stella Nova. It is directly across the street from Epic Universe. This is one of their kind of more value friendly hotels. Not a lot of frills in this hotel. From what I understand, there are no connecting rooms. And this hotel has some great food in it. I had the chance to have their grilled cheese and tomato soup. Y'all, if you like grilled cheese and tomato soup, seems like a pretty basic dish, right? And it is. But when you've been traveling all day, you've been getting up at the crack of dawn and you're just trying to get your life straight and get into your room, get some grub and go to bed. Man, this meal hit the spot. And I swear to you, they made like the bread from scratch and the cheese from scratch and the soup, which is more of like a thick bisque than really like your old Campbell's tomato soup, which nothing wrong with that at all. But this very simple meal was one of the best combos that I have ever had of a grilled cheese and tomato soup. And I make a lot of them at home because I got 4 kids, right? So big shout out to the food at Stella Stella Nova, Universal Stella Nova Hotel, and the room itself was also very comfortable. I ended up in a corner room, hence the kind of curved shape of it there. These rooms are, nothing too special about them, I guess. The lighting was great, the theming was on point, it was subtle, but it was very well done. I thought so. Again, corner room. They have these. I don't have the curtains open here, but it has this big kind of oval shaped window in it that looks out. This was a city view, which was fine. They also have park view rooms as well. So again, 2 queen beds in there. We'll sleep up to 4 adults. It has the phone. You can opt for room service when that's available. Walk-in shower. There's no tub on there, but a walk-in shower, toilet, single sink. Again, pretty basic area, closet, storage area, safe, all those different things. So this particular room, though, if you want one of these rooms that are at the corner, just be aware there is 1 bank of elevators in this hotel. In this particular hotel, again, we're talking about Stella Nova, right across the street from Epic Universe. There's 1 bank of elevators right in the middle, and it's a walk back and forth. But the elevators do move very quickly up and down, which is nice. When I was there, the hotel was at a little over 50% capacity. And so it wasn't like terribly busy, but even with that, like if you were to double it, like I can see how it'd be very busy. But the team and like the quick service food area, and also the separate cafe where they have Starbucks coffee, they have bagels and muffins and pastries and things and other quick grab and go items. They were very efficient. The team was there, they were on it, they were cranking through all the different drinks that were gone, and very attentive. And for a new hotel, honestly, that had only been in operation for a few months, I was very impressed. I thought they did a fantastic job. I gave a team member a shout out in a review that I did. I think her name was Rachel at the front desk. Absolutely did a fantastic job while I was there. So big fan of this hotel. It's a great, no pun intended, it is honestly a fantastic value for the money. Stella Nova, don't sleep on this hotel. Keep it in mind as you're making your travel plans. It is a great hotel. If getting the express pass is not an option, or is something you don't really care about, the 2 formerly premier hotels that include that, which doesn't apply to Epic Universe anyway, like run to this hotel. If you're the people that are like in the parks all day long and you might go back to your hotel room, but you most likely won't, stay here. You'll have a very comfortable stay and you'll enjoy every part of it. So, again, this hotel is directly across the street from Epic Universe. You can walk to the front gates of Epic Universe. And when I left one afternoon, I timed it from the bus stops of Epic Universe, which are just a few steps from the security checkpoints. I timed it from the bus stops of Epic Universe to being inside the lobby of Stella Nova, and this included probably a minute or 2 wait for a crossing signal. So really, it's just a little over 5-minute walk at most, and that's a park walk, right? So you're not like lollygagging around, but it's just a somewhat brisk park walk. And I was there again, probably a little over 7 minutes, 7-8 minutes, something like that, from the bus stops of Epic Universe to the lobby of Stella Nova. So great. Like you could get on a bus if you wanted to. The buses do run from the lobby of this hotel to the park entrance, which is fine. If you want the AC, if you're going in the middle of summer and you want that extra few minutes of AC, by all means, you will not have to wait long for a bus. Just be aware of that. But if you do want to walk and you just want to get over there, it's a great option for you. So big fan of this hotel. The second hotel, which I want to talk about, that I did not stay at, that I've had some agent friends stay at, is Helios, which is, I have a picture of it somewhere. I may have to like click around a little bit here because my pictures are like they got all sorts of outdoor. There we go. There's the facade of Helios from inside the park. It is that side of it. This is not a premier hotel. It does not include Express Pass as of right now, but it is that level of service, that level of amenities. And has its own separate entrance into Epic Universe, which is fantastic. It opens at the same time that the regular entrances do. Staying at a Universal property, you do get early entry into the park. This applies to this hotel, of course, as well. Is in a fantastic location, has some amazing views for some of the nighttime shows that are that happen in the park area. So if you get a view that faces the park, by all means, like definitely check it out. I've not stayed here, so I can't give you a personal thought on it, but would be happy to once I do, of course. My buddy Joshua over on the West Coast, let's throw this up there, says, do you think their wait times at these cafe areas will double at full capacity, or will just be bogged down, or can they keep that efficiency up? So that's a great question, Joshua. If they go with the current kind of mindset that they've got now, I think that they can probably keep up with it, to be honest. Because normally, for a few different reasons, normally when new attractions, new hotels and whatnot open, they'll have some new fresh hires, but they will bring some of their best and brightest to these newer properties to make sure that operations are running smoothly, that, good examples of service and all that, those sort of rhythms are set well. They didn't seem fully staffed to me when I was there. So that's another thing. Like the people that were making the drinks were also handing the like the bakery items and such. So I would think that and there was one register that wasn't even, like, nobody touched it the entire time that I was in there. So I would think that they would be able to keep up with it. Will they have times when they're stretched, holiday season, 4th of July, whatnot, when they're at fuller capacity? Sure. But I think in large part, I would not expect things to double, but that's a fantastic question. So moving onwards from hotels, let's go to, don't you love this? This is like, here we go. All right, let's pop over here. So this is right in front of the security checkpoint. You can see the kind of security, the metal detectors, just like any Universal Park over at City Walk. You put your bags. I had a little sling bag with me, it's just the perfect size. Big fan of sling bags, fit my water bottle and all the different things that I needed. Phone rechargers, phone gimbal, all that stuff. You put all your bags, all of your things through a little short little conveyor belt security screener thingy, and then you go through a metal detector, and then you're on your way. No real big hangups. There were some lines there. I was there for early entry, and I got there a little bit later for early entry because I had a later night. Just usually travel days, I don't sleep well that first night, regardless of how exhausted I am. So that's one thing to keep in mind as you are prepping for early entry, that people will show up. Early entry opens usually around an hour before. They were still in testing phase at this point. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind, at least based off my experience, kind of keeping that filter in play, that there were some things that were not functioning that day at all. Like the Ministry of Magic ride that was there was not functioning, but the queue was open, and I'm going to put some pictures and such in there later. Like, oh my gosh, I was blown away, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So again, this is at the entry point for the park. This is the portal that you go through. If you can't read that, if it's too small on your screen, it says, beyond this gate, find Gardens Green and Epic Worlds to fill your dreams. It's a really cool concept, I think, to have these portals to enter into the park as a whole, and then these individual portals that kind of show up for each little land, as we might call them. So fantastic indeed. So this one right here, this is the first kind of portal or land that I went through. Let's see actually if I have because that's inside of Nintendo World. Sorry, I'm kind of like bumping around here. All right, so I do not have my picture of the Nintendo World portal in there, but we'll park it right here for right now. So there we go. So Donkey Kong Country is one part of Super Nintendo World. Super Nintendo World has its own really cool portal where you've probably seen this on social media already. This really cool portal where you go through a green pipe. It has two sort of ways to do this. One, a dual set of escalators that go up. As it goes up through the green pipe, has the sound effects just like you would have on a Super Mario game. And then you go through Princess Peach's castle, and then out into the kind of land world area. And then once you go through it around the castle and whatnot, you'll end up over in another area of it that is Donkey Kong Country, which was really, really well done. I was a big fan of how this land operates. So yeah, here's this is sort of a panoramic of the inside part. And that portal right there, that's where you would go through to Donkey Kong Country. So it's a great land. It's very, very well themed. A lot of fun. There's a lot to see and do. Of course, the Kong's Treehouse. If you've ever played Donkey Kong Country or the newer version on the Nintendo Switch that my kids absolutely love to play, this is like looking at this. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm looking at this piece from the video game in real life, which is pretty amazing. So big fan of it. Had the chance to ride Minecart Madness. Was one of the first few folks in line to go on that. They do have, notice this, they do have a single rider line. They do have this sign right here, which was flipped around backwards. Presumably that was for Express Pass. Some of the attractions were running on Express Pass, but not all of them when I was there. But as of today, they should all be operating without a problem. So had a lot of fun on Minecart Madness. It's a great attraction. I should have one other picture here somewhere. I'm sorry. These are like things that are all sorts of out of order. So of course, Yoshi's Adventure. Here we go. All right, I wanted to show this one right here. This is the Minecart Madness ride. You can kind of see in the picture where, if you're familiar with the game, it's like sections of track disappear and it has to jump the track. They did a really good job with this. So the ride vehicle itself is attached to a track that sits below the actual like railroad style track that you see. So when you board it, unless you're like paying close attention or you see this, you think, oh gosh, like the track's actually jumping. And I did all these attractions during the day. I want to go back and do it at night, like when I'm able to experience it in a little bit different way. And I can imagine like this spot or other spots of this attraction are an absolute blast to see and to do. So big fan of this ride. It's a great coaster for families. It's not super intense. It's not very long. The queue is very, very well done. Let's see if we can find, there we go. A lot of little characters. There's old Cranky Kong sitting there in the queue. They held us outside and then let us through after a while. So lots of theming in there to keep your eyes busy as you're rolling around. Lots of little bits of surprises around every corner. Of course, you got your barrels. There are some drinks that actually come in a Donkey Kong barrel. Some adult beverages that you may want to take a look at as well while you're there. So when you leave Donkey Kong Country, you can come out through this portal. This is what you'll see as you enter and as you exit this area. It's not too big. But again, it's very well themed. It sounds and feels like you would think it would. And then you come back out to your main area that we just saw a second ago. We'll play this one more time. Lots to do, lots to see, lots to interact with. That's a surprise. And again, sorry, we're kind of all over the place here today. We're just going to kind of start going through. Yoshi's Adventure is an attraction that's probably it's a slower attraction in Super Nintendo World that's more appropriate for younger kids. And like I said, there's a lot to interact with. I'm doing a selfie here. If the question mark's backwards, it is for the item box. You can get these power bands where you can interact with a lot of the item boxes, and get coins and kind of track your progress with an app, which is a lot of fun. Definitely recommend that. Let's see where. Yeah, let's pop over here to. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go over here. So, one of the other lands I want to tell you about is, there we go. This is, if you see here, it says, see if you can guess which one this is. For in dreams, we enter a world that is entirely not our own. So this one right here, this is a little tease right here in the middle, is not that one. This is so much fun. There we go. All right. This is the entrance to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic. Which again, this is not an area that you want to sleep on. I have a lot of pictures from this one, and was a big fan of how it was themed. I'm just going to go straight to the actual inside of itself. This is like it feels and looks, the Ministry of Magic feels like it should. It is a larger than life like space. The air conditioning is incredible, by the way. Great place to kind of hang out and just diffuse for a bit. Absolutely love this area. So it kind of feels like Paris should. Lots of little shop. There's Madame Malkin's kind of fine clothes for the area, which is fun. A lot of detail in here, which is fantastic. I caught myself taking lots of pictures of different spots. This is apologize for the bar area is kind of a little crooked, but you can get some beverages in here that I did not have a chance to taste, but definitely wanted to get a picture of it while I was in the area. This is kind of the area just outside of the Metro Flue, which is how you gain entrance to the Ministry of Magic. It feels like you're walking, like all this stuff you hear, like these little stains and stuff on the wall. All that was done by creative team members. Like this is not like it's not aged, but it feels like it. All this tile work was done by hand. It wasn't assembled in mass off-site. One of my favorite podcasters I heard actually giving some feedback about the tile work, like down to some of the grout lines in different places, was absolutely phenomenal. So you actually, we'll go back to that in just a second. You actually come in to this giant hall, this massive hall area, the Ministry of Magic, where like this ceiling is alive. And again, talking about like just the tile work and everything just kind of blows your mind. The ceiling is alive. The theming is excellent. There's lots of course, office signs for some of the characters that are familiar to you. The sort of deep green tile work was amazing. Again, all this tile work, all that was done by hand. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Like I would like to talk to the people that did this work. It was absolutely amazing. And then this right here, this is the office of, let's see if we can find it here because I had it up earlier. There we go. This is the office of this beautiful young lady here that's on trial at the moment. And again, there is a, if I can go back and find it, there we go. We'll do a little quick video. Again, lots of really cool detail in the space. I kind of had to go through quickly because there was a long line of people, and I didn't want to wait or hold the folks back. So, big fan of the way this was done, and I think you guys would absolutely love it. So, let's move on to one of our other areas, and I got hungry eventually, And I'm putting this up first for a few reasons. But the main one was when I called beforehand, just had to talk to Universal in advance to get some feedback or I wanted to get some feedback. I wanted to get some tips and tricks. I wanted to, had to make some arrangements before I went. And the lady, without me even asking specifically, was like, you know about the cones? And I'm like, what? Like the cones. And I'm thinking some like cheesy, like no pun intended, theme park, like whatever, fried Oreos on a stick or something. And like something along those lines. Don't sleep on this. These are the macaroni and cheese cones. There's a specific name for them, which I can't remember. I apologize. This has hot chicken, like Nashville hot chicken, shredded on top with like fried onions and some sort of like garlicky pesto goodness on top of it, on top of a bed of mac and cheese that's wrapped up in this like bread cone. Y'all, this is like, I just had to kind of sit for a minute and enjoy this, like in a good way. It was very, very, very good. There's a plain mac and cheese options. I think there's like maybe 3 different options on their menu, but absolutely loved it. The Isle of Burke was there's a side view of it there for you. The Isle of Burke was an absolutely phenomenal land. Here's a kind of a wide angle of it. There's lots to see in this particular picture. Where I ate was kind of off here to the side, and spent a little bit of time over here. I didn't do all the attractions just for the sake of time. Also, the weather caused one of them to go down while I was there. Being that a lot of the attractions are outdoors, just be aware if it's raining, if thundering, lightning, they will have to shut down sometimes. But was a big fan of it. I did the Untrainable Dragon, which is their live show that they did. That was absolutely amazing. Toothless, unfortunately, was not flying during the show. It didn't matter. Like it didn't matter. The actors, the tech, the theming, all of it, like worked flawlessly. Like for what we saw, like worked flawlessly. Do not skip out on this show. Don't. And even the Cirque Arcanu, which is the live show that they do at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. There's a kind of a circus tent not too long after you walk in there. That's where you get in line for it. There's several shows throughout the day. The live entertainment at Epic Universe was absolutely amazing. Big fan. Don't skip out on it. I wish, because I've had so many people say, hey, look, this was my favorite land. This is my favorite land. Like, I wanted to spend more time here. I really, really did. And I should have. And this is a place that I want to go back. And just kind of generally speaking, this park left me wanting to go back. I didn't want to just, hang around and, like, twiddle my thumbs. I was by myself, and I prefer to go with people. But I wanted to sort of experience things in a little bit of a different way, which I did. I was thinking about things through the eyes of my kids. Like, they love Nintendo, they love Harry Potter. We're not super big on How to Train Your Dragon, but I can see them wanting to invest in it once they see this. Because I cannot, like, as a father of 4 children, I cannot wait to bring my kids back to this park when I'm able to be there in person. So I wanted to circle back around here real quick. This is the Dark Universe portal. It just says, in true Frankenstein fashion, it's alive, right there on top. So again, live entertainment, the actors, there's Igor, that's taunting people almost as soon as you walk in. He's got a bag of, some few spare body parts. Gotta love the trash can in the back. Look at that. This is a great shot. But this particular actor did a phenomenal job of interacting with everyone, making them feel pulled into the story. It was really, really cool just to kind of see the way he interacted. Just didn't skip a beat, like one after another. I just sort of stood back for a little bit and watched him. It was pretty awesome. And then there's another actress here that was playing the violin and also interacting with the crowd. She was pretty awesome. And this is the mansion for the monsters attraction there. Super technical and complicated. Similar to some other attractions that you may have experienced at Universal, but the way they have merged screen technology, animatronics, and ride systems, like all of it together, it was really well done. This is not an attraction that I would bring young children on, like especially if they get scared easily. But it was really well done. The detail was phenomenal. Was a big fan of was a big fan of this one. There we go. Forgot to change the subtitle there. So lots of great things to see and do. I absolutely loved Epic Universe. I would spend more time there if I could, and I hope to eventually with my own family someday. And I appreciate you guys listening to me yammer on. I know it seemed a little bit disjointed. I've got all 4 kiddos with me right now, and it's been a little bit of a crazy time. Today's also my birthday too, so I'm exhausted, but wanted to get this out there to have for people to reference when they came back too. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Again, it's an aerial view. There's so much to see and to talk about. And one of the things when I talk about new experiences or places that I've never been that I'm unfamiliar with, or if you just, talking to people, I've talked to some people that are hesitant on whether they want to do Epic Universe or not. Here's my 2 cents on this. And I probably should have said this at the beginning, but if you're staying until the end, thank you. For me, a good park, a good experience, a good resort, a good cruise line is one that will leave you wanting to come back because you didn't get to everything. If you're able to get to everything, you'll get bored. It's that sort of appetite that a lot of the resorts will give you. It's this sort of delicate balance between chaos and so many choices and feeling like you're having a blast doing what you're doing and being where you are, but also like, oh gosh, like I would have really liked to, I don't know, spend more time in Isle of Burke, or stayed at the Helios Hotel and experienced that, private entrance into the park. Would have liked to have gotten to the park a little bit earlier. Instead of driving in, maybe staying on property. Instead of staying on property, what's it like to drive in and have that flexibility, right? So there's lots of different ways to experience it, but yes, absolutely plan a trip to go see this park. Go to it. I think there are things appropriate for younger children and older children. Universal kind of has this thought about it for some that it's really for people seeking like adventure rides and older kids and those sorts of things. Epic Universe does a very good job at balancing both things. And I would definitely not sleep on this park at all. Go to it, plan a trip to it. You can be in Orlando. Make sure you set aside at least a day to spend there. I've had some people say that they would spend 2 days there easily just to take a look at everything. Again, tickets, hotel packages, all those sorts of things are available even into 2026. That's going to be coming around here pretty soon. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me at travelmationjohn.com. As a Travelmation travel advisor, we work very closely with Universal Orlando Resort and their other properties over on the West Coast and around the world to make sure you can have an incredible experience along the way. Thank you again for joining me for this episode of Travel Tips Tuesday, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.